This audio is rated PG-13.
You're late.
With very good reason, Herbert.
Oh, don't say you've been people-watching those match girls again, Annie. There is nothing that can be done.
You write for the link.
And you pop in to be noisy.
And yet you declared me late.
You used to run like clockwork, even when you were just conveniently passing by.
Oh, come on. Speak to the man in charge. If I can speak to some of these girls...
They are poor, working to the bone. No wonder they look like they need your concern.
Yes, but there is working, and there is working. Some of them have swollen cheeks, teeth having to be pulled out daily.
Everyone already knows this.
And yet they choose to ignore it? The link. Is it not meant to be a journal for the servants of men?
Fine. I will speak to the man in charge, as you call him.
Good. You do that. I will try and get some to talk.
Which may be more difficult than one would expect.
It doesn't hurt to try. If not for the people of London, it's for those match girls.
Alice! Hey! You up?
Look, Sarah, I appreciate the knock-up, but do you have to be so loud?
Well, Alice, I can't wake you up quietly, can I?
It's far too early for you to be cracking jokes.
Turns out I'm a morning person.
And I am not.
The length of time you and me have been working at that factory, I would have thought we would have gotten used to it by now. Oh, come on. Take my arm, sleepyhead. I'll guide you to the factory.
It looks like it's gonna piss down.
Well, that'll wake us both up. Good old drench before work.
To sit around in a damp skirt all day.
Look, if we pick up the pace, we'll miss it, won't we?
Siobhan, are you wanting tea?
I'm barely awake.
Well, you need to be awake. Get a shift on, girl. We can't be late 'cause of you again.
When'd you get so bossy?
When do you get so lazy?
Hey, that's no way to speak to your big sister.
Do you want tea or no?
Please.
Here.
We got some crust left from yesterday.
Sure do. What do you think Mammy would have said if she saw us now?
I think she'd be mighty proud that we're surviving.
Barely. Honestly, Siobhan, I can't remember the last time our bellies were full.
Aye, there are people out there worse than us. Damn Fossey.
Let me see. You know that money you've been saving for our end of the month jam treat?
Aye.
I think we might have to use it for your teeth again.
I can't have any more pulled.
Look, I don't think you have a choice.
Mommy would have been proud of you, you know. You look after me. Which I'm pretty sure is the wrong way around.
You're sick. If I was sat here like I had an egg shoved in me cheek continuously, you would be doing the same for me. We look out for each other. You're all I have. I don't have the luxury of Seamus trying to get into me bloomers all the hours of the day.
Hey, don't speak about him like that. He's a respectable gentleman.
Oh, I know. And it's nice to see you smile when he talks to you.
It's not nice, however, it'll be fine because we've spoken.
Right, come on. Heat up. We need to be going.
I swear to Christ, the weather here is worse than in Wales.
Do you ever stop complaining?
There's lots to complain about.
We have jobs now. Things are looking up.
You hated your first week.
And now is our second week. We know the routine, we know the rules. There's hundreds of employees with Bryant and May. Things will get better.
I'm just worried, that's all. You're my wife.
And you're my husband. But we are able to look after ourselves. Plus, all I do is dip matches all day, and you load up vans. But we have money now, which is more than we had when we first arrived. So, for now, please just grin and bear it.
This factory job is the only temporary. You should be at home. I should be working.
This is fine for now. That posh woman is watching us all enter the factory again.
Yeah, she is. I wonder what she's doing.
Sarah has been saying she's been trying to talk to some of us girls.
Talk to him about what?
She's been asking questions about what goes on inside.
And let me guess, everyone's too worried to tell her.
Apparently.
Would you talk to her?
Best not. I'd like to keep this job, but I'm sure someone will give in eventually.
Excuse me, do you mind if I... Look, I'm here to help ladies, not hinder.
We can't. Honestly, miss, you need to leave.
Please, what's it like inside? How many hours do you work? What's the...
I'm done talking to you. They will dismiss me on the spot.
But what are they hiding from the world? Surely it's your own right to speak.
Who has any right to say what's right and what's wrong?
Lily, come on, best not be late.
If you ever feel the urge to talk, please do so.
You see that woman still out there?
Yep, she's still there.
That's 3 days now. Maybe one of us should just tell some bullshit so she'll leave.
Or we should just tell her. She seems well off. Maybe she could help.
I can tell you're new.
You dear, we're treated like cattle.
Welcome to London, where everyone is treated like cattle, especially the likes of us.
I saw Mary on the way in. They will fire her soon, I reckon.
Should have had those teeth pulled.
Come on, girls. Don't make me tell you off for talking again. You know it's not in my nature.
You, Mr. Ryan, do not belong in this factory. You're too nice.
Shh. Don't tell anyone. Just get to work before Mr. Farrington comes in and gives you a real telling off.
I got fined for dirty feet yesterday.
What? That's ridiculous.
Shh. Or you'll get fined for talking too.
Sorry, Mr. Ryan.
Get a shift on, Teddy. That stock's building up.
Going as fast as I can. Sarah, sorry.
Not me you should be apologising to. It's those bow legs of yours. They don't like you growing, and you've done plenty of that in the last week.
I come from a tall family, but me bones don't like that fact. I might have to jack this in.
You know that ain't an option. What would your mother do if you had no money then?
I need the sunshine, miss. That's what they reckon it is, you know. Lack of it.
No amount of sunshine's gonna fix those legs. Sorry, Teddy. Shh! Quick! Take this stock before Mr. Farrington comes over.
Miss Chapman,
Sir?
I hope you weren't distracting young Teddy then.
Never, sir. Wouldn't dare.
A likely story. Lilly, tidy up under your bench. Can't have it be in that state. Find. Keep it clean.
Yes, sir. Sorry. It won't happen again.
You never even gave her the opportunity to clean it up.
Shut your mouth, Chapman.
Something has to be done about this.
That woman outside of the gates. She wants help.
Interesting.
Gonna have to pick up the speed, ladies. Far too many sticks laying around unbound. Get a shift on.
The girl's eyes can only move so fast, sir. And with the build-up in speed, we run the risk of ignition.
Your job is to maintain the machine, Mr. Ryan, not the women.
And we will be the ones getting in trouble when the match goes up.
Does it really happen so easily?
Oh, trust me. I've seen many a girl get burnt.
Best keep peeled then.
Never a dull moment here, eh?
What's the crack? Been a while since I've seen you at the station. What brings you my way?
Business.
Mr. Farrington getting you to check for messiness again?
No. This has got nothing to do with him.
Mind if I eat while you're here? Sorry, you know how it gets.
Perfectly acceptable for me. Listen, you're educated, right?
If you're asking if I can read and write, then I.
Take this. It's a notebook and pencil, but keep it hidden under your desk.
What are you up to, Sarah?
Getting something done about all this. Have you seen that woman outside the gates?
Aye.
I'm getting some workers to write down what happened in here. That way, none of us actually have to talk to her.
Because if we did, someone in charge would kick.
Exactly. And this way, it's done anonymously. Must try and get round to Alice. She's definitely the sort of girl that help unravel Bryant and May.
My sister, Kitty. She can write too, you know.
She's in the spinners, right?
Aye.
No way I can sneak in there. Oh, wait a minute. Psst. Teddy! Teddy!
Sorry, you talking to me?
Come here, but be quiet.
Yes, miss?
You go through the spinners on the regular, right?
Sure do.
Do you know Kitty? Kitty Duffy. Looks a little like me, only a wee bit shorter.
I think so. Why?
We need you to give her something next time you pass through.
Try and slip this to her. I've put instructions inside, so all you need to do is slip it her way.
I mean, I can try.
Good lad.
Right, let's think. Who else is educated?
I heard you two whispering. I can write, and I'm definitely happy to help.
Perfect. I'll keep asking round. Try not to get caught though, otherwise this whole thing gets flushed away. I'll try and collect the books at the gate after the final bell.
You reckon this will amount to anything?
Probably not, let's face it. Hey, do you have cheese, you lucky sod? I can't remember the last time we could afford anything other than bread.
I really struggle to chew the bread causing me jaw.
Yep, I know that feeling.
You did the smart thing, had them pull through. Honestly, one of the biggest mistakes not following company policy. I thought I was sticking it to the man. Turns out I was just making the problem worse. Here. Think of it as a sisterly gift. Speaking of which. Food as a workbench. Nowhere to sit. Eating while still working.
Hey, let's get back to work. I can see Mr. Farrington on his way.
Shit.
Mrs. Besant. How are you today?
Still troubled by those match girls, I'm afraid.
They see you as a freak.
They do? All of them were too scared to come forward. But why? We want to help them, do we not?
Those girls talk to any of us, they risk their jobs. And if they lose those, what little money they do have will stop.
We have tried, Annie, but without their own words, everything falls short. You know that.
I have tried to convince Herbert that there is an article in it. And yet, as you say, we cannot approach the press with word of mouth.
Does anyone have any idea how we can help those poor workers?
This subject in these meetings just keeps going around in circles. Remain with this approach for the moment, Mrs. Besant. It will only take that one girl, and judging by the way things are, it will only take an event for them to speak out.
Psst, Miss Duffy.
How many times do I have to tell you to call me Kitty, Ted? You alright?
Miss Chapman asked me to give this to you.
You can't be doing that. What if we get...
What? Ah, it's alright. I'll turn a blind eye wherever this is. Just be careful, both of you.
A notebook?
There are instructions inside.
Instructions inside for... Shit.
Let's go, Cath, you idiot.
Let it go now!
What the actual hell? Miss Campbell?
All of you go. Including you, David. I'm fine. You can't all get into trouble.
But...
Honestly, I'm okay.
You broke the bindings!
It started moving too fast, Mr. Farrington.
So you let the machine break? Do you know how much that's going to affect production?
If I'd kept a hold, I would have lost my fingers.
So lose your fingers. You're not important here. Your work is. No pay for you today.
What?
Sir, don't you think...
Shut up, lad. Or you'll be docked pay too. Next time it happens, you keep hold of that ribbon. All of you. These spinners break again and you'll get 0 pay for the whole week.
Honestly, it could have been 10 times worse than what it was.
I'm just glad you're alright.
It's my fault. I caused the distraction.
No, don't you start talking like that. See, there she is, same place as normal.
Hello, ladies. What's in those pads then, eh? Ah, I saw you lot scribbling away all day. Now hand them over, or I'll go straight to the big boss. All of you, including Miss Prim, will be out of here.
What makes you think these blocks are anything to do with you?
Hand them over.
What's in these won't help us anyway. Hand them over.
Mary, what in the Lord's name are you?
Hand them all to me. Mr. Farrington has the right to see what we wrote.
I left her.
Just do it, girls.
But there's more pads than there is girls.
Very observant, sir.
He's worried now, because he doesn't know all the culprits.
Alright, enough of your games. Hand them over, Mary. Mary?
You know what I fancy, sir? And before you jump to conclusions, it's not you. A walk, maybe, over by the Thames. Oh, bye for now.
Oh, I knew she had something up her sleeve. But running and throwing those in the Thames? I would never have thought it.
So, what do we do now?
Only thing we can do, really.
We speak to her.
The one man who could have been watching us is chasing Mary.
Good point. Begging your pardon, Mum, but we'd like a word.
Oh, finally.
Considering all that work Sarah went through for you, girl, to write all that information down.
Aye, but it gave us confidence to speak, sure. Every bit of information put in that book needed to be told. And as each and every one of us spoke to this Annie person, it made us realise just how bad it's gotten.
What did you say?
Well, firstly we needed to get away from the gates. Fair enough, Mary had sent Mr. Farrington running, but you know there's still eyes around.
I just hope when you all return tomorrow, a job will still be there for you.
Well, she took us to a nearby alley, where we each spoke to her one by one.
Did you mention what happened to Catrin?
Because originally, ma'am, Sarah wanted us to hand over these books.
And this Catrin was distracted.
Aye.
Does this happen often?
The thing that happens the most in here are the fines.
Yes, your sister mentioned those. I knew of the risk of ignition. That goes without saying in a factory full of matches. But having to pay money for dirty feet, nearly losing one's fingers due to this binding machine?
Machine-wise, it could be worse, ma'am. I've heard stories of children in mills losing limbs.
Yes, and things were done for those poor children. But now, it's time for the match girls to get help.
What is it you plan to do with this information?
I will go to the papers and have every sorry story written. Tell me of your sister's Fossey Jaw.
You should try and meet Mary.
The one who ran off with the booklets?
Hers is bad.
Is it true that it glows in the dark?
Aye, ma'am. And most of her back teeth have had to been pulled because of it. She used to be so pretty. But now her cheeks, especially her left, always looks like she's storing nuts for the winter. Like one of those squirrels you see in Kensington Gardens.
And you, yourself, you pay for this teeth removal?
It's company policy. How they tried to cover their backs.
Yes, they have been questioned about the conditions of the dippers before. Does Siobhan work in the dipping room?
Aye. The pay is a bit better. You know, before she got sick, we would have saved up our money and treat ourselves to a night out. We would sit in the tea shop and have a brew by the bucket load and jam on our bread. Strawberry jam. All bright and red and things.
That sounds like a real treat. How long has she been suffering?
About 3 months now. Been in London since I was 13 and Mammy died. We had to look after one another. You know?
Your face looks sore today.
It is. And my skin smells of burnt garlic.
Well, can't say I've ever noticed that.
Lady at the market pointed out, sure. Oh, you must be one of those matchers, can smell a lot of you, my love.
Do you and Kitty have enough food?
Aye, we have plenty. I've told you off about spending money on this before. I mean, you best get going. Kitty will be back from bathhouse soon.
Damn girl, why can't I stay?
Because the last time you stayed, she woke up to find you mountain way.
So what do you think these parents with hundreds of children do? All of them in one room?
We are having no children. And you know we shouldn't be talking like that till we're married. Besides, I am not shagging where my little sister sits and listens.
You live in London. I'm sure she's seen it all before.
Get going, you. Go. Come on.
I'm still confounded about why. All of a sudden, these women began giving you information.
It does not matter as to why, Herbert. It matters that they finally did.
This will take a while to be printed.
And, in the meantime, if they hand over any more information, we can add it.
Oh, you woman will be the death of me. Right, so... the hour for commencing work is 6:30 in the summer and 8 in the winter. Work concludes at 6 p.m. Half an hour is allowed for breakfast and an hour for dinner. This long day of work is performed by young girls who have to stand the whole time. A typical case is that of a young girl of 16. She earns 4 shillings a week and lives with a sister.
I still can't believe you all risked it.
I will have you know I never spoke to this Annie woman. I was too busy throwing evidence into the Thames.
Even that will result in some form of punishment. Look at him, Mr. Farrington up on that balcony.
Out on the prowl like some lion at the zoo.
He's waiting for you to mess up. this woman says how she plans to help?
All Sarah said was she's going to the papers.
That load of good that's going to do. Which one?
The link.
Who's in God's names reads the link?
Shh! It's only takes one person to make a difference, right?
The speed we're having to work at is bloody dangerous.
Oh, would you stop chatting, Cat? We concentrate and we should be fine.
I thought you were one of the group, the ones who went to Mrs. Besant.
Shh! Don't be speaking of that. If any of the big bosses find out every... Ah!
Be quick! Shit, that's a lot of blood.
Oh my God, my fingers are cut, please!
Oh my God, they look bad.
I crushed them in the spinner, of course it looks bad! Oh Lord! I'm gonna lose my fingers!
No, you're not. We'll get Siobhan to take you to the hospital. You'll be fine. Ready? I'll grab Miss Stuffy.
Surprised that lady's still outside. Thought Sarah's lot spoke to her.
Maybe she's itching for more. I'm starting to think that there's more shown for her. You know, poke the fun out of the pool.
Nah, I don't reckon she likes that.
You're considering talking to her, aren't you?
If I can help in any way, I'm willing.
Even if it risks your job? Teddy, with your bent legs, you're lucky enough to be working here in the first place.
She needs to know about Kitty. That only happened because the factory looks out for its products more than its people.
No one ever looks out for us.
And maybe Miss Besant can change that.
I'm not getting involved. I've considered it in the past, but...
Your mother's gotten worse, hasn't she?
I need to be there for her. And all she has left.
I will help make all this better, Lily. I promise.
You're like the little brother I never had.
Send my love to your mother.
Oh, you poor boy. Did you honestly just come out of that factory?
Don't be fooled by my appearance, miss. I'm stronger than I look.
Should you be talking to me here? Everything with the ladies the other day was ever so cloak and dagger.
They rarely acknowledge me. I'm just the cripple. I think they only hired me because if I keel over, no one will care.
I'm sure someone would care. How old are you, boy?
12, miss. Been at the factory since I was 10. Teddy's my name.
Tell me, young Teddy, do you have any information about what goes on in there? I've heard tales from the factory floors, but what of your end of the factory?
I collect the trays, miss, and take them to be dispatched. Something happened today that I think you might help with the article you're writing.
Oh, go on, dear.
You spoke to Kitty Duffy, didn't you?
And none of them gave me their names.
Small Irish girl, blondish hair.
Yes, I think I did.
She had an accident, and truthfully, miss, I don't think she'll keep her fingers.
Keep her fingers? Oh, dear boy, you must speak to me now. Come.
No, I'm sorry, Miss Duffy. They will have to go.
But you said...
Every bone in her 2 middle fingers are crushed. No amount of strapping will fix that. And if they stay with all that damage, the risk of infection is too high. Then the whole hand will have to go.
I'd rather 2 fingers than my hand, Siobhan.
Do what needs to be done, Doctor.
Lay back and breathe in deeply, Kitty.
I'm scared.
This will help you sleep, and when you wake up, all those painful things of yours will be gone. That's it, Kitty. Sleep now. I would advise you to step outside, Miss Duffy. Nurse, bring me the saw bag.
Stop it, will you?
Stop what?
You haven't said a word the whole journey home. Get away from those inner thoughts of yours.
I keep playing it in my head. Her screaming, the blood. Oh, David, her fingers were so mangled.
It wasn't your fault. before you start saying any of that.
How was it not? If I'd been paying attention the other day, my ribbon wouldn't have ran.
The bias is running your machines too fast. It is anyone's fault. It is. Don't let go of the ribbon. The factory's more important than your fingers. Bollocks to him.
David!
I'm sorry, but if Kitty lost her fingers...
It's Sunday tomorrow. How about we take a trip round to the Duffys?
Is it wrong? I'm glad it wasn't you. Sack covered in blood on that factory floor. Wouldn't have wished that upon anyone.
I saw you speaking to her, lad. You lot are getting too big for your boots.
All I did was tell her about Kitty. She would have found out eventually.
Everyone has been warned, Teddy. Just because you're a cripple doesn't give you...
Hey, I might be a cripple, but I work twice as hard as the next person.
You know you and your mother should be begging on the streets.
Don't you dare.
Stop talking to the Annie woman.
And what if I go back to her tomorrow? What would you do to me, Mr. Farrington?
And apparently, it's being printed tomorrow.
And finally, the Matchgirls have a voice.
No, Alice. Annie Besant has a voice. But she's been wanting to write this account for a while, by the looks of things.
So you think this is for personal gain?
Oh, no, not at all. But all I'm saying is, when does anyone listen to us, Alice? Ever?
Well, maybe, just this once, they will.
Such is a bold account of one form of white slavery as it exists in London. With chattel slaves, Mr. Bryant could not have made his huge fortune, for he could not have fed, clothed and housed them for 4 shillings a week each, and they would have had a definite money value which would have served as a protection. But who cares for the fate of these white wage slaves? Born in slums, driven to work while still children, undersized because underfed, oppressed because helpless, flung aside as soon as worked out. Who cares if they die or go onto the streets? Provided only that Bryant and May shareholders get their 23%. And Mr. Theodore Bryant can erect statues and buy parks? Oh, if we had but a people's Dante. To make a special circle in the inferno for those who live on this misery and suck wealth out of the starvation of the helpless girls. Failing a poet to hold up their conduct to the extraction of prosperity enshrined in deathless verse, let us strive to touch their consciences, i.e., their pockets. And let us at least avoid being partakers of their sins by abstaining from using their commodities. Issue number 21, Saturday, 23rd of June, 1888.
On behalf of Annie Besant. Happy?
Oh, ecstatic.
Guessing you saw Annie's article, Sarah.
I saw it.
Only problem being, those in charge would have seen it too.
Maybe it'd be an eye-opener for them.
Oh, it's good to see you back so quickly, Kitty.
I couldn't lose out on pay.
Yeah, but you've lost your fingers.
And I'm having to learn to cope. I mean, it could have been worse. Tying up corsets and shoes is still a struggle, though.
Do you reckon they will try and find out who gave Annie the information?
Hey, have any of you seen Teddy this week?
Not me.
Oh, that poor lad. I hope he's alright.
What was printed in the link were serious accusations. Very serious. If any of you workers knows of anyone seen speaking to this Annie Besant, then you are to tell myself immediately. I will not have workers of mine saying such things to the press. It is uncalled for. We pay you. None of you are slaves, and everyone has to work to survive. So work. And while we're on the subject of working, Miss Kitty Duffy.
Yes, sir?
This evening, I expect the floor below your machine to have been cleaned. It is still blood-stained, and I will not have that appearance in my factory. Understood, Miss Duffy?
Of course, sir.
Right, back to work, all of you. Get every single one of them to sign this. This says that everything told to this Annie woman was a lie, and everything is to be withdrawn immediately. I don't care if they can't read or write. Just make them all mark it, understand?
A quick word, sir. I might have some information on this article that was written, and may have a culprit to dismiss.
Go on.
I was called out of a meeting against the sweating system on Wednesday night by a workman friend of mine who came to me from Bow with the news that Bryant and May's factory was in a state of commotion, and the girls were being bullied to find out who had given me the information printed last week. The cowards that they are. Why not at once sue me for libel and disprove my statements in open court if they can, instead of threatening to throw these children out into the streets? But they hope thus to terrorize the girls from giving evidence, and so prevent their treatment of them from leaking out. They will not succeed in their despicable policy, for work will be found for the girls they sack, and dismissal thus robbed of its terrors. On Wednesday, Mr. Conybeare MP gave me £1. A member of the Merchant Tailors Company, 10 shillings. Another sympathiser, 10 shillings. And I have other promises of support in defending any victims of Bryant and May and carrying on the war. A big meeting to protest against the white slavery will be called.
Dear lady, I am writing with the right that you should know a girl was dismissed from the factory this week, under false pretenses and with very little evidence. This is one reason I write. Although, I do see you still loitering outside the gates. But sure none of us dare talk as we'd have immediate dismissal. We had gained some hope. We were trying to find that fighting spirit again. A plan will be drawn up, and I'll strike me ensure. Word will reach you quickly. Your help's appreciated. A match girl.
Should I inquire as to how you ladies found my address?
Lilly followed you home the other night. She had planned to speak to you away from the factory, but she changed her mind at the last moment.
Lilly? I'm not sure I've met her.
You'll be meeting more MATCHGIRLs soon, Mum. Trust me. We have a plan.
This is Mary. I'm not sure if you're aware, but she was dismissed last week because of the article.
Come inside out of that heat.
Wow. Look all this stuff. How the other half live. Look, stairs and everything. Back in Ireland, me and Siobhan shared a bed, but Mammy and Dad had their own room.
We aren't here to be jealous, Kit.
I'm just saying it would be nice for Siobhan and Seamus to have their own room, you know? So they can... you know...
They've been at it again while you've been in the bed across from them again, have you?
Mammy would be rolling in her grave.
I was informed of this dismissal. Someone wrote to me. Sit, ladies.
Who?
The letter just said, from a match girl. Which, with over 1,400 staff working within these walls, it could have been any. Now, what is this plan that you have penciled out?
We plan to go on strike.
Oh, no. I can't have that.
It's the only way they'll listen.
You're Kitty, right? The young lady who lost her fingers.
Aye. Wearing gloves is going to be a pain in the winter.
Girls like Kitty are the reason why we need to strike, Mum.
But you need the pay.
We are aware of the circumstances that will arise, ma'am.
We may be poor, but we're not idiots.
I mean, I have been contacted by charities willing to help. But striking was my last resort.
We can form a committee. Get people together.
Go to Parliament, let them know. We won't stand for this any longer.
Mary, as in theory it is my fault you were sacked, I will help support you through means of charities. However, Sarah, please call off the strike.
What did you do all this in aid of? Just to print an article or to actually do something? Tell me, Mom, did you actually intend on helping us at all?
I did. However, if Mr. Bryant decides to take legal action upon
All
me...
of it is true. He cannot call you out for that.
Under what would you be striking?
Firstly, the dismissal of Mary. We will spread the word. Most will follow.
Many listen to Sarah, ma'am. She's the soul of us match girls, really.
No. I just speak plainly, that's all.
Well, if you see things so plainly, Miss Chapman, please, do not strike.
So this is your apparent proposal?
Yes, sir.
And all because of the dismissal of one girl? I thought you had an intelligent head on your shoulder till now. Maybe I should dismiss you too.
By all means, sir, but know this. If you do not reinstate her, the match girls will strike.
I very much doubt that.
Oh, just you wait, sir.
Are you shocked we're being so bold, sir?
Is it boldness or just stupidity?
I'm not sure David would be happy if I up and left.
That's not what he said when I managed to speak to him earlier. He thought it was a grand idea. Instead, it should have happened years ago.
But we need to see what the boss man says to Sarah and Alice first. No?
Like he will listen to any of her demands. More than likely, she will be dismissed too.
I heard them shouting, Mr. Bryant and Sarah. I don't think it's going too well.
You'll help us strike, won't you?
Definitely.
Any news on Teddy?
None. Something's not right there.
He spoke to Annie.
Did he? He did say he was thinking about it.
Siobhan said he told her about... well... me fingers.
Maybe he was dismissed too, and none of us were told.
Maybe. I hope he's alright.
We strike. I'm sure he'll show up for the march.
March?
Well, that's how you do these things, right? March through the streets of London, carrying massive banners.
Up the march, girls.
Shh! Save that for later. There's a pile of ready reels there for you, Lilly.
Thank you. Let's get on. Up the match, girls, eh?
Hey, Sarah. We heard about what you've been trying to organise. Most of us fellas are in.
We're still waiting to see if they agree to what we asked.
And you know that's never going to happen. If a strike is the only way, it'll just have to be done.
I mean, you have that Annie woman of sport, right?
Yeah. Of course.
Right then. Up the match girls then, I guess.
Too right. Up the match girls.
Let's just do this. We need to set up this committee then.
I'm in.
Same.
Oh, thank you. Both of you. Hopefully, fingers crossed, this doesn't all blow up in my face.
Well, if it does, we'll just go ahead back to Wales and drag you lot with us.
I am not working down a pit.
Will you men stop loafing around with Miss Chapman and get to shifting these loads?
Sorry, Mr. Farrington.
Right away. Up the matchers.
They actually did it. All of them. All 1,400 of them have gone on strike. And yet, here you are, Mr. Farrington. Still here.
I didn't think they had the guts to go through with it, sir.
Me neither. I blame this Annie woman. But it's all right. They will all see the error of their ways soon. Because the list of demands was just ridiculous. Somewhere to eat away from their workbenches, as an example.
But then they would have to stop working.
And this, Mr. Farrington, is why you are a floor runner. You and me, our brains are in sync, my friend. So in sync.
Wow. This is a lot busier than I expected.
It seems that Sarah's really good at convincing people to be a part of this.
As are you. Give yourself some credit too. You've helped her a fair bit.
Quiet down now, all. Firstly, myself and fellow committee members would like to thank you all for coming today.
We know you're all here to be updated on what is happening with this strike.
I'd like to mention Annie Besant, the woman who helped open London's eyes to the hellhole that is that godforsaken factory.
Myself, Sarah and Siobhan will be going with her in a few days to try and make a statement in Parliament.
Do we not get to meet this lady?
David!
What? Don't you think we should?
You will in due course.
So firstly, Mr. Samuel is here to take some photos for the press, so if we could all have the committee members, then we will discuss exactly what will be mentioned to these MPs.
Come on, Kitty. I can't remember the last time we had a photo taken.
I'll be standing there with my hand behind me back. I don't want people to look back at this photo in the future and see me there with me gammy hand.
You really think people will look at all this in the future?
Well, if it all works out, I'm sure they will.
And if it doesn't work out, I'm sure they will too. Look at those pathetic match girls.
Lilly?
Sorry I'm late. It's just, I ran into Teddy's mother. Turns out he died 2 weeks ago. She told the factory, but no one told us.
Oh, Lord.
I'm sorry.
Just annoyed no one told us. We've been so worried.
And that bloody factory strikes again.
Up the matches!
Right
to the matchers!
We will strike hard, Lilly.
We Teddy would have been proud.
For Teddy.
For all of us.
That's it. If we could have a few of you on that raised platform, perfect. And remain still, please.
Now, ladies, it's perfectly natural to be nervous. Because, quite frankly, I am too. But this is the only way to get Mr. Bryant to listen. So be it.
Oh, this heat is making my jaw throb. Ugh.
Oh, same. I feel like I've had marbles into my mouth.
Maybe I should have bought Kitty. At least it's her hand damaged, not her jaw.
Don't worry. You are mainly here as proof. This is all being supported by the matches, and that it isn't just me egging all this on.
Ladies, I've heard all about you. I am Mr. Law, part of the Fabian Society that Mrs. Besant is a part of. I am here to help them listen.
I thought it best to bring a mail.
Oh, good shout.
Are we ready to proceed?
Yes. Come on, ladies. Let's go change history.
Ah, the famous Match Girls. Welcome. Don't be disconcerted. I spoke of you today in Congress.
Charles here is ever so passionate about what you ladies are doing.
That's all very well, gentlemen, but why are they here if not to speak to the House of Commons?
We have spoken to Mr. Bryant. To be truthful, he wishes he had the power to dismiss you all, but has come to the realization that something needs to be done.
Are you aware that he threatened Mrs. Besant with legal action?
We are, but heard that nothing came of it.
He demanded I'd write another article and said that everything printed was utter false.
He did the same for us. Tried to make us sign something which denies all that was written.
Fine for dirty feet, though. That must be a fairly large stretch.
Even that's true.
You were the woman who was dismissed for all these startups, weren't you? Is it Fosse, your jaw?
I have been told her condition is self-inflicted, The company policy states that once the first signs occurs, teeth must be pulled to prevent spread. She did not adhere to this policy.
Begging your pardon, sirs, but we are not here to talk about Mary's jaw. We have planned a march through London, and these are the list of demands we wish to be spoken over with by Mr. Bryant.
It's not much, sir. No more unnecessary fines, somewhere for lunch, shorter hours.
Shorter hours? But surely the stock would...
Oh, we work from 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. with no break, sir.
And the pay? How these women live off it is beyond me. There is this one girl who used to work in the spinner, but was moved due to an accident.
My sister. She lost her finger, sir.
Accidents happen all the time in these factories.
Let them talk. Go on.
She takes matches out of frames and places them into boxes. She makes... how many frames an hour, Siobhan?
About 3.
And for each frame, she is paid a half.
And they also have a habit of igniting, sir. Then she doesn't get any money whatsoever.
A halfpence? We'll take these demands to the relevant people. We will see to this.
Do you really think this will work?
It doesn't hurt to try.
This is very true. We can all but try.
How are you feeling?
Nervous, but excited.
I'm just hoping it remains peaceful, you know? Can't be dealing with drama.
I can't get over how many people are here.
I'm just hoping this isn't all a waste of time. Me and David really need to get back to the factory soon. This pay cut just doesn't work.
At least Mrs. Besant managed to get us all some form of funding.
True, but it's barely enough to live on.
But it's better than nothing coming in at all. Just goes to show there is some good charity in London.
Fuck knows where. They must be hidden away from view. Only Annie can see them.
I've been spending the nights with Teddy's mother. This mind gets on so well. She seems so lost. Bless.
You're a good wee soul, Lilly.
She spoke of how he died the other night. They had found him by the Thames. Drowned.
What? Why would he have been anywhere near the water?
My thoughts exactly.
Wait, you reckon someone did it to him deliberately?
I have my theories. I spoke to Annie. Told her about Kitty's accident.
You reckon someone wanted to shut him up? Stop him telling on the factory?
No. Workers wouldn't go that far. Surely.
The planned route is known by those at the front, so all the rest of you just follow on.
I've never seen Sarah beaming as much as she has today.
Her and the council have done really good. Oh, look! There's Mrs. Besant.
We are hoping this march today spreads the word. We will probably be hollered on the route. Hollering of both the good and the bad kind.
Ready yourselves for rotten potato throwing, ladies!
This will happen. They will listen.
Up the match girls!
Right to the matches!
A meeting of protest against the tyranny of Messrs. Bryant and May will be held on July 22nd at 11:30 a.m. on Mile End Waste. C.A.V. Conybeare, M.P.R. Cunningham Graham, M.P. Herbert Burrows, John Burns, and Annie Besant will be among the speakers. I have received from OK 10 shillings to aid in the gratuitous circulation of the link to expose the way in which Bryant and May's business is conducted.
I hereby make the following statement to all of the workers of the Bryant and May match factory. Fines, deductions for the costs of materials and other unfair deductions will be abolished.
Yes! What's that mean?
He's not going to charge us when matches ignite anymore.
Meals. Food will be eaten in Shed 5 from now on. This does not mean you loiter there. You go, you eat, you return.
Well, it's a start at least.
Also, another ask was that we switched to red phosphorus. This will not be met.
So he's still happy to see girls' faces fall off. Kitty. Sorry.
White lights anywhere. That is our appeal. So this will not change.
Well, Mr. Farrington has gone for good.
Oh, thank the Lord. A bloody nasty piece of work.
Did they do him for Teddy? I still reckon at least he'd hurt him, causing him to go into the water.
Couldn't. Wasn't any proof, sadly.
What did Mr. Bryant do him for then?
Well, he never took part in the strike.
He's been stealing from the factory.
Oh, gasp. Oh, the shock. Oh, the horror. Oh. Oh, at least none of us have to listen to his cat wallowing anymore.
Well, I won't be around for too much longer. Me and David are expecting. But hush for now. I won't be stopping working till I can't hide it any longer.
Save up those shillings now.
Oh, congratulations!
Hey, Sarah, have you heard from Annie?
She pops in from time to time, as does her friend Herbert. You know, see if things are still as they should be in here. Tells me if anything goes awry to inform her.
She definitely has our backs.
Not to get sentimental, but I wonder if people will remember this in the future, you know?
Well, they bloody well should do. The workers spoke and the people listened. Surely that's something to be remembered.
Right, I'm off. I'll be back in a moment.
Oh, Kitty, you're still not doing that.
Doing what?
Oh, she's off to paint that Mr. Gladstone statue hand of red again.
I thought that would have stopped.
Ugh, that'll never stop. Unless they pull the damn thing down.
She has a point. Unless they reinstate the money we pay for that bleeding thing. That's blood money. Go on, Kitty. Go paint his hand. We'll cover you here.
Thank you, girls.
You've gone and given that girl a political head now.
No, she has just woken up to the fact that no matter what people say, we are not cattle.
We are people too, just because we have no money.
And live in one room.
And barely own enough for rent.
Or food.
We are the Matchers, and we changed history.